Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Chilltown Hoops. I'm your host, Jermaine. The youngsters call me OG. My friends call me J-Dub. Let's get to it. So, yesterday was media day. Training camp is now officially open, and we have everybody saying all the right things, which is what you're supposed to do during this time of the season. So, what are the takeaways that I got from listening to certain people? So, for example, the Milwaukee Bucks. Damian Lillard made it clear that Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in the world. Well, of course he's going to say that because this is the first time he's had an opportunity to play with a great player. This is the first time he's had an opportunity to play with a great player of this magnitude. He's played with really good players in Portland. I mean, he played with CJ, who for 6 straight years averaged 20 a game. There's not many guys who ran in the backcourt with a guy who was a 20 a game scorer for more than half a decade. So he did run with another really good player. He wasn't the caliber of Giannis Antetokounmpo. No, he was not. But he did run with a really good player. So him talking about Giannis in this way, of course, he's going to say all the right things. Now, there are some questions that need to be answered. For example, how is this offense going to run? Damian Lillard is a ball-dominant guard. Not only is he a ball-dominant guard, he is a shoot-first guard. Damian Lillard passes, but he shoots a little bit more. Giannis also is a ball-dominant forward. And Giannis primarily gets his buckets. When he gets his buckets, a lot of his stuff is in transition and in the secondary break. And how does he get the ball? Well, he's their best rebounder. So a lot of times he gets the ball off the glass and he goes with it. Well, Damian Lillard being in the outlet spot, that's not going to work because Giannis is just going to get it and go. So now Damian Lillard's going to have to be more apt to play off the basketball. Now when the game slows down, you got Damian Lillard and Giannis playing pick and roll, pick and pop. You have a Milwaukee Bucks team that's pretty well-rounded offensively. The problem that I'm having is defensively. You know, you give up your 2 best perimeter defenders in both Jrue Holiday and Grayson Allen. So now you're going to lose that. Does Damian Lillard's offense make up for the now lack of perimeter defense? Because what's going to happen is you're going to go up against teams like the Boston Celtics, who I'm going to get to, like the Cleveland Cavaliers, who I'm also going to get to, where they also have dynamic wing players. And we can't just go bucket for bucket with these guys because they also defend. Cleveland had the best defense in the league last year. The Boston Celtics have a defense that was in the top 5 in the league. Not only that, you got a guy in Jaylen Brown who has aspirations of being an all-league defender. So you can't just go bucket for bucket with these guys. At some point, you got to stop them because they're going to stop you. That's a concern of mine. You got one of the best rotation players in Bobby Portis. I thought he was the 6th man of the league, 6th man of the year last year before he ended up getting hurt. Losing Grayson Allen, that's another shooter that you don't have, another defender that you don't have, which I already mentioned. And losing Javon Carter. Javon Carter was basically their Bruce Brown. And again, Damian Lillard is saying all the right things. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player on the planet. And this is the first time I've had an opportunity to play with a guy like this. And the same logic goes for Giannis. But the difference is that they've actually won the NBA championship. He hasn't played with a scorer like Damian Lillard. So there's definitely going to be an adjustment. There's going to be a huge adjustment. I think the offense is going to have to change. And when I say the offense is going to have to change, the offense is going to have to change in the aspect that Giannis is going to have to learn how to play more off the basketball in the half court because Giannis was their primary playmaker, both him and Jrue Holiday. So now he's going to have to learn how to play more off the basketball, and the ball's going to be in Damian Lillard's hands. Now these guys playing pick and roll, where is the pick and roll going to be? Is it going to be 25 feet away from the basket? And if it's going to be 25 feet away from the basket, how are you guarding that? Are you going over the top of that? If you go over the top of that and you chase Dame off, If you chase Dame off the pick and roll, is Giannis diving to the basket? Well, the defense is going to shift to not allow Giannis to dive to the basket because you want to make Giannis play in the mid-range. And what would you rather? I'd much rather have Giannis shooting 17-footers and 15-footers as opposed to playing drop coverage and letting Damian Lillard shoot 22-footers and 19-footers. I don't want that. So the offense is definitely going to have to change. I think it's going to be an adjustment period. The question that needs to be answered is how long of an adjustment period? I think this is a 2-year window with this Milwaukee Bucks team. And the reason why I say 2 years is because the Miami Heat, when they got LeBron James, I mean, they got to the NBA Finals, but they didn't win it right away. This is a little bit different of a circumstance considering Damian Lillard is a little bit older, but this thing still has to work now. And the reason why this thing has to work now is because after the 1920 season when they lost in the bubble to the Miami Heat, well, they switched out Bledsoe for a better guard in Drew Holiday. Well, they ultimately win the NBA championship. Well, now what they're doing 2 years later is they're switching out Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard. So if we won an NBA championship 2 years ago when we switched out for a better guard, now we're switching out for a better guard again. This thing has to work. And if it doesn't, it's going to be primarily because of this guy. So some things need to be worked out. They absolutely need to be worked out. And I think that it's going to be an adjustment period for the Milwaukee Bucks. I think it's going to take some time. I think they can figure it out, but I don't love the fit. I need to see it. I do. I need to see it. What else I need to see is I need to see the Cleveland Cavaliers during their media day. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be a lot better. They're going to be a lot better this year. I think they're a top 3 seed in the East. The Boston Celtics are a team that, I'm going to get back to Cleveland in a bit, but the Boston Celtics are a team that I think this year it's championship or bust. The thing that I'm I'm going to take that word back. The thing that I'm most concerned about with the Boston Celtics is their meat and potatoes guys. Jaylen Brown, one of your stars. Jayson Tatum, another one of your stars. You bring in KP. He's a double-double, 18 and 10, 20 and 10 guy, right? These are your stars. These are the guys who are going to get you what you need offensively. Well, you lose your meat and potatoes guys. You lose guys like Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, Robert Williams. If anybody knows me, knows anything about me, they know for a fact I am a huge advocate of dirty work guys. As good as Michael Jordan was, as good as Scottie Pippen was, as good as Magic was, as good as Jabbar was, as good as James Worthy was, they're not winning without AC Green. They're not winning without Kurt Rambis. The Bulls ain't winning without Ho Grant. They ain't winning without Cliff Livingston. The Miami Heat are not winning without Udonis Haslem. They're not. They're not. The Houston Rockets, as good as Olajuwon was, and anybody knows me knows I'm an Olajuwon stan. They're not winning without Otis Thorpe, Carlos Herrera, Mario Elie. Your dirty work guys. And that's the thing that I'm concerned with the Boston Celtics. You got this kid, Jordan Walsh, out of Arkansas. He's a rook. How much stock am I taking in a second-round rook? I don't really know what I'm going to get from him. Pritchard was in and out of the lineup last year, and he was a guy who thought he should be playing more. I kind of felt like that too. And Jayson Tatum, again, in media day, saying the right things because Drew Holiday is a better version of Marcus Smart. The only difference is they haven't played together long enough. But he basically does everything that Marcus Smart does, except better. And he's not a disruption. See how he fit in with the Milwaukee Bucks? I think he fits in the same way with the Boston Celtics. I think he fits in the exact same way with the Boston Celtics. I think the difference is this continuity and a familiarity, getting together with these guys and learning their nuances. That's why Marcus Smart was as good as he was, because he had been with Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum and Robert Williams and these guys for as long as he's been with them. I think that at some point, they're going to have to make some sort of adjustment with their lineup. I don't mean with their starting lineup, because I think that with their starting lineup, they might have the most talented starting lineup in the NBA. I think that they're going to have to make an adjustment to get some more dirty work guys in there, because I think that the guys that they have, I'm not sure that that's enough. I think that they're definitely going to get that. What I do want, on the other hand, is I want to start Jrue Holiday. I want to move Jaylen Brown back to his natural position, which is the 2. I want to move Jayson Tatum back to his natural position, which is the 3. And I want Derek White coming off the bench. I think that works. Now, losing Robert Williams, that's the muscle that you don't have anymore. That's the rim protector and the rebounder that you don't have. I think they can make up for that as a group, gang rebounding. Think about the Miami Heat in the 12 and 13 season. They didn't have an elite rebounder. I think the guy I'm thinking about more than anybody is Zach Randolph. Like, they didn't have Zach Randolph. They didn't have a guy like that. So because they didn't have a guy like that, how are we gonna be able to defend against teams that rebound? Well, we're gonna have to gang rebound. Jayson Tatum led all small forwards in rebounds. He averaged almost 10 rebounds a game last year. I think he averaged 8 rebounds at the small forward spot. So he rebounds. Al Horford's going to rebound. KP is going to rebound. So this is going to have to be a collective effort from the Boston Celtic group. We don't have one guy who's our primary glass cleaner. I don't think we have that. So in order for this team to get to where they're trying to go, that's going to be a huge difference there. These guys gang rebounding more than anything. I think this year for the Boston Celtics, I think they're on pace. I think they can win the NBA championship this year. I do. I have Jayson Tatum, before the season started, I have Jayson Tatum as the front runner for the league MVP. I think he's going to win it. I like what I'm seeing with the Boston Celtics. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think, are a top 3 seed in the East. Evan Mobley, I think, is the defensive player of the year this year. I think he got beat up last year in the playoffs, and I think he got a taste of what it looks like, and I think he's more ready this year. I think he's more ready this year than he's ever been. And I think you're going to see a different player. I think you're going to see a different Darius Garland. Getting Max Strus, and again, these guys in media day, they're all saying the right things because, again, the season hasn't started yet. It's like going to school for the first day and meeting everybody. Hey, and becoming friends. So immediately, that's what it's going to be. However, once the season starts and you start to understand guys' nuances and guys' games, like Max Strus, who is new, and now he's basically going to do what Okoro does, except I think he's a better shooter. And I think he's a little bit better of a team defender. So because he's a little bit better of a team defender, I think he's going to give them more help. And I think he's going to be more valuable to them. Wade is another one coming off the bench that's going to give them good minutes. Donovan Mitchell has to be better. And he said that. He said that he's got to be better. And he's right. Darius Garland, I think, also takes a leap this year, and I think he gets better. So this Cleveland team, which is the youngest of all the teams, I think they're the youngest, but I think that they're making the progress that's necessary in order for them to win, in order for them to get to that championship window. I need you guys to understand the difference between a team being a championship contender and a team being a playoff contender. When you're a championship contender, that means that window is open. I don't think Cleveland is at that window yet. I don't think they're there yet. I think they're a year away from that window being open. That window is open for the Boston Celtics. That window is open for the Milwaukee Bucks. That window is open for the Denver Nuggets. That window is still open for the Lakers. Not a lot of teams still have that window open. I'm out on the Clippers. I want to make sure that I'll say it one more time for the people in the cheap seats. I am out on the Clippers. I'm out. There's really no logic that you can sell me on the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm out on them. I think the window has closed on Philadelphia, but we'll get into that the next time I see you guys. And media day has started. We'll get into James Harden a little bit more. And we'll talk a lot more about a lot more stuff because basketball season is starting. But until then, guys, take it light. But take it.